Hey, 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 it's football season, and I've got my buddy Jake Huggins here to talk about football. But wait, this is specifically for those elite athlete moms and dads. I want y'all to tune in, listen, go ahead and grab the share link and start texting it out. You don't even have to pay attention. Just start texting it out to your friends that are in that category. Anybody wonder about the NIL portal? Anybody wonder what those athletes are doing with all that crazy cash? That's what we're going to talk about today. We do not have a full solution, but I did bring Jake Huggins in the room. And let me tell you about Jake. Jake is my buddy. We have known each other just about a year and a half. I met Jake. Jake, how old are you?
25.
25. I know he's like, don't tell people because they think, what? We can't look down on people because they're youth. That boy right there, he's not a boy. He's a total man. He is leading so many great things. It's crazy. He's from Alpharetta, Georgia, but now currently lives in Olathe. I don't know how to say it.
Olathe, close enough.
Olathe, Kansas. And he's a graduate from Kansas State University where he was a walk-on. And he also got his degree in sales and his certificate in personal financial planning. But here's what I love about Jake. Totally like in his story, he'll tell you like, well, I was hanging out over here in college and then I was like, wait a minute, let me shift. And I don't know if you drank an energy drink full of wisdom, but Jake is very full of wisdom and has in just the year and a half I've known him, has been launched into leadership positions and launched into opportunities that I don't think he saw coming, but he is as smooth as peanut butter in them. He is doing an amazing job. Wisdom beyond his years. So excited for him. Let me see if there's anything else I want to say. Oh, he has built a team of over 500 associates. And I won't say 600 yet, but I'm waiting for that number to come. And over the past 3 years, didn't happen all at once, but he has now built up a 6-figure income. Does anybody want their teenagers, budding athletes, they're about to get out into the career world, have their kids make over 6 figures? Yeah, we all do, right? But it doesn't come just because you graduate and you get a paycheck, right? It's hustle. It takes some effort. So welcome, Jake Huggins. Yay!
Thank you very much. I had a great time last time I was on here, and I'm looking forward to this one as well. You said smooth as peanut butter. That must be very crunchy.
Smooth as no, creamy. Creamy. No crunchy. You probably felt the journey was crunchy as you went through the bumps, but you're acting like it's creamy.
That's right.
You guys can connect with Jake. His Instagram I have posted below. But Jake, just walk me through, because you've been playing football. Any other sports since you were in high school?
Since high school, just football. When I was younger, I played some lacrosse and wrestled and basketball, but football became the main focus.
Awesome. So was it your dream while you're in high school? Ooh, I want to go to college and play football and be on the team.
It was actually, I started playing football when I was 4 years old, which sounds a little extreme, but I remember watching, I was a huge Tennessee Vols fan, which is a sore subject after last weekend to the Dogs. But I remember when I was 4 years old, I would have my jersey on and I'd watch the game, and then I'd go out in the yard and pretend like I was running through the tee and playing for Tennessee. So it was pretty much a lifelong dream of mine.
And that is so true with any athlete that's probably halfway good, right? I did play collegiate soccer. I know, don't laugh. But my brother says, yeah, but you played for that little old school that, I mean, any high school, middle schooler could get on the team too. I'm like, be quiet. I played in college.
That's right.
But tell me about your journey there, because you played at Kansas State. You were a walk-on, right?
Correct.
Well, how was that? What year did you walk on? Freshman walk on?
Yeah. It was 2019. Going through high school, I had quite a few injuries. In my senior year, I actually tore my ACL. So I didn't think I was going to play college football. I thought it was pretty much all over. I was thinking I'd go to a state school and get an education. And then actually, my brother, that was 2 years older than me, was already playing out at Kansas State. And the recruiting coordinator hit me up and said, Jake, we have a spot for you. And I was like, man, this has been my lifelong dream. I have to at least give it a try. And so I went to K-State, walked on, and K-State's really known for their walk-on program. It's like no different than if you're on a scholarship as far as how you're treated. It's a grind either way. But yeah, so I came in, and actually when I went to K-State, I was thinking I was going to gray shirt, which means that you are on the team, but you don't go to practice or workouts for the whole first year. And then you come in. And I was going to be a D tackle, so I was 280 pounds. But it was literally as I was pulling into the driveway, because I was still going to go to school that first year, the recruiting coordinator called me and said, Jake, we need a fullback now. Can you start? So I was like, well, it's one of those things where you can't really say no, or it probably wouldn't go very well. So I came as a fullback, thinking I had a whole nother year to get in shape as far as running stuff. And I was 280 pounds. So it was a rough first year. I lost about 40 pounds in a 3-month period, but learned a ton. And I wouldn't.
Can I get on that eating plan later?
That running plan is something I do not want to ever be on again.
So you had a lot of injuries, and then when did you stop playing ball there?
Yeah, so I played 5 years, so it would have been like the beginning of 2024, if my math is correct, where I called it and went full time into this business.
Well, 5 years. I mean, that's pretty good. That's great. I mean, why not? And
it wasn't because of school. I gotta throw that out there.
Well, tell me, when you were looking at, well, let's go with the NIL portal first. So did you play with any players that got paid well to be there and be great?
Yeah, I think it was probably around my true junior year where NIL legislation actually passed. And it was kind of a ramp up each year. It increased the amount people were making, but pretty early on, like the biggest studs of the team were getting up to 7 figures a year, quite literally. And so that was pretty eye-opening to me, and where I started to really think maybe this is just timing, inevitability of right place, right time. I think I could make a huge impact in this area. So that was when I started to shift to the actual financial planning classes from there.
So yeah, because there's a need there. And so you wouldn't have noticed the opportunity if there wasn't a need. So what happened? Do you have any scenarios where you were chatting with your buddies and they're like, woo, let's just go party? Or were they buying you gifts? I mean, with 7 figures, I mean, I could buy the whole team gifts. What was going on? How are they handling their money?
That's a really good question. And there was a defining moment, I would say, and I'm not going to use any names because I don't want to put my boys on blast, but I remember I was sitting down in our locker room. We had these benches in front of our lockers, and I was talking with one of our players that was making well into the 6 figures. And I'm kind of a smart aleck, so I was like, it's all fun and games until that tax bill comes. And he just sat there for a second, like kind of confused, like I told him the world was ending. Come to find out, he didn't realize he had to pay taxes on that money.
Oh.
So it was kind of already on the forefront of my mind, but I was like, man, these guys need help. And so that's where I really dove into it full speed ahead. And I was thinking it was a college football problem, and I think it's kind of emphasized in that area. But as I've expanded our outreach, I've realized it's not just college athletics, it's the entire United States where there's a huge financial literacy problem.
Yeah, I was working more in the classroom in high schools, doing some financial literacy a couple of years ago. And all of the students wanted to be Instagram famous, which, are you Instagram famous yet?
I don't know if I would say that.
Y'all go visit Jake and just say, hey, let's at least be one more follower. Well, she got a job. We won't talk about what it is, but she had some followers on Twitter, made $300,000 in the first year. And I was like, excuse me, taxes. Well, she was like, shh, go away. Go away. No one wants to. Why are you raining on my parade? And she went, la, 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 right? And just because you go la 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 doesn't mean taxes don't happen. I just sent my quarterly taxes in today. But next year she owes, and I calculated it the other day, and it was over $100,000 she would owe in taxes, because people don't realize there's different tax brackets you get into because you're making more money. You might be in this happy little lower because you're average middle class income, but you start making 200,000 more, you're boop boop, and you're bumping up. And she was in debt, and she is borrowing money from her grandma now to fix her car. Because what? And all it took was somebody just to coach them a little with, let's have a conversation about your money, which takes me to what you do now at SFP Synergy Financial Partners. That's what SFP stands for, Synergy Financial Partners?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What you guys do there, my understanding, is education, right?
That's right. Teaching the basics of how money works.
So sometimes people are like, oh, I got that already. I got a financial advisor. Oh, my mama's got it covered because I don't know squat about money. How does SFP Synergy slide into that conversation? And does it cost money? And what's the impact?
Yeah, great question. We do our education absolutely free. And I would tell you, SFP purely focuses on that education initially, which most people just aren't seeing nowadays. Like all these big firms, they're happy to guide you and tell you where to put your money and not really explain it. But the problem is, if you don't understand why you're doing something, you don't tend to keep doing it and you don't really know what's going on. So that's why we start with education and empowerment, so that people actually have the knowledge necessary where they can truly start to build net worth, not just income and things like that. So it's a lifelong pursuit, not just, I met somebody, I'm going to do this, and next year I'm going to switch it and this and that. So we're really just filling that education and knowledge gap is kind of our niche per se. I don't know if I said that word right. Where
people call it like 3 different ways. It's all good.
yeah. Where we come in and fill that gap for people. And, you know, in college sports, especially now with these guys making so much money and the gals as well, it's kind of like preachers, for example. Like there's always financial people trying to get in churches. Everyone wants these athletes' money now. And so they're very apprehensive. And that's why I just feel like it's so important to have somebody who has been in their shoes, or a team who has people who have been in their shoes and can really relate to where they're at and understand that mindset and keep it a very low key, low pressured thing, so that they can be completely comfortable and understand what they are doing, so that they're not rushed into any ignorant decisions. Because you see so many disasters out there where people just completely lose their money. They do something that is misrepresented, and then it just destroys an opportunity for them to truly build generational wealth for the future. And a lot of these guys have opportunities where they'll never have to worry the rest of their life if they make a few small, smart moves, a few disciplines they develop. And so that's where we come in.
And one of the key things, so you offer education, and then you also offer a complimentary blueprint. And then I believe it's on Tuesday nights, you even do a group training. So if somebody's like, hey, yo, I'm not interested in like you zeroing in on me, I just want to check you guys out first, you guys can get on Jake's Instagram and he can invite you to that Tuesday night chat. I think it's 30 minutes, 35 minutes. So you can kind of go, let me just check you out. Are you guys legit? I like to say, this isn't, I won't say it. I was going to make a comment. Never mind. But you can just check him out, make sure he's legit. And if you like the vibe, you know what? More than anything, you got to like the vibe. I changed financial advisors multiple times just because I didn't like the vibe. And they kind of overlooked me when I was earning some good cash. The other thing is I think it's important to look at the options. Like, there are things that when I looked at Synergy Financial, there were things that I'd never heard of. And I was mad because I was like, why has no one told me about this? So shop around, look around, explore. Don't just take the first thing that pops into your mind. And then when it comes to elite athletes, there's also, and we can't talk about it today because we're almost out of time, but there's financial opportunities. So in college athletes and in high school athletes, there's a lot of moving. There's no permanent role for 20 years. So you actually offer part-time jobs and full-time jobs to work with people. So if somebody wants to be an elite athlete and travel, they could still make some cashola, couldn't they?
That's right. I was out in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, 21 years old, and I needed a role because I was a walk-on, and I was actually door dashing before that. Not overly fulfilling of me or my wallet per se. So I decided, hey, right place, right time. I was introduced to Synergy, so I gave it a try. Fully remote, and I actually built the business up, as Miss Julie mentioned, to where when I graduated, I knew where I was headed. I was passionate about something because there's that time period where you get out of the structure of every second of every day is full of either a workout, a meeting, a meal, or something, a practice. And so people have that transition where they're like, what do I do with my life? And fortunately, I already had a mission that filled that void and some, and was excited for the future. So.
That's awesome. Jake, I know you have more to say on this topic, so we'll just have to have you back. How about them apples? But it's up to you. Yes, and it's up to you guys to let us know and give feedback to what more you'd like to hear on the topic. But get a second opinion. And elite athletes that are only 4 years old starting football, mom and dad, there might be an opportunity for you to start making some good money choices now. So send me an email. Let me know how I can connect you with Jake. If there's anybody else from Synergy Financial that has invited you to this, you can email them and reference them in the email you send to me. But we'd love to hear your feedback, input, and we look forward to serving you. And Jake, go be great and go be you.
Thank you for being you. Thank you for having me again. I thoroughly enjoy this and look forward to coming back again.
Awesome. And guys, pay your taxes.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Y'all take care.